Hello YouTube, this is Skyfire, the Pokemon Enigmatic, bringing you another Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi battle. This battle is against Axe from the exact Pokemon Wi-Fi room. Well, I guess it's Axe on his avatar, or I know his handle had something like Demon Master or something like that. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll just show you the team. It was of course all OU, and mine was like, what? That's kind of mine's how it is all the time. Mine's are always like, what? Because I don't like playing with obvious stuff, you know what I mean? I bring in my Beecher, that's my Simisear, he brings in this Tyranitar. I decided to go for a nasty plot because I kind of figured that since I had the air balloon up, the only thing you do is a crunch. But what I never expected was the Stone Edge. I was like, great. So pretty much, Beecher's attempt to use a move was like a whammy, or in this case with the critical, the double whammy, and the air balloon pop that he thinks is like a triple double whammy. So much for Beecher attempting to do something. So I bring in my Stanwix, that's my Whimsicott. He switches out, brings in something Japanese, which happens to be a Chandelure and some kind of strange ball. I never knew the ball that he brought it in. I don't know, it was like a timer ball or something like that. Anyways, I go for a sub since I predicted a switch with the Stanwix. And as he gets leftovers recovery, I go for the Stun Spore because I did not want that thing being faster than anything. And with that, it could not move, and that was what I call perfect timing. Now, I could switch, but what I don't want to do, I don't want to mess up the sub. So I just decided to go for the Leaf Seed, so I can possibly take that Chandelure out without even having to use a move. And it goes for Flamethrower, as I predicted. So, unfortunately, since Stanwix doesn't have all that good special defense, the substitute phase, and it brings out the Whimsicott. So, with the leftovers recovery for Chandelure, I get some of that because of me having Leech Seed. I also realized that Chandelure doesn't have much of HP because, of course, I realized that Chandelure has high everything else, well, sort of high, but its HP is not all that good. So in any case, I went for another sub and it was paralyzed, so I'm happy at that. And he switches out again and he brings his in Kyurem, which is funny because I went for a Cotton Guard, not expecting anybody defensive or offensive, at least in physical attack, but you know how it is. Maybe I should find a move that bulks up special defense. I don't know if this thing learns amnesia or something like that, but I have to see. Anyways, since Kyurem is out and he's not paralyzed, I'm also go for the Stun Spore and he's paralyzed. And guess what? The same thing happens. He can't move. Man, Stanwix is having fun out here. And so here comes yet another switch. He switches into another something Japanese. I saw the Sceptile. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I tried for the Leech Seed and I didn't predict the switch, so oh well. So everything looked good for Stanwix. I went for another Cotton Guard. And my defense is like +6. He goes for a Dragon Claw. And that was like interesting because the sub is still there. Oh man, are you seriously doing this, Stanwix? So I go for the Stun Spore, although it is a grass type. I did go ahead and try to use it because it's a grass type move, and I was like, no, you're gonna be paralyzed just like everybody else. So it went in for the Earthquake. Is it Whimsicott a grass type? Yep. And so with that, Stanwix is still there. Now don't ask why I went for Leech Seed. I was just a random move. Well, it had to be random enough because it's still paralyzed. Oh man. Talk about something else for Stanwix. So I went for a Cotton Guard, another random move, And of course, my defense is already at +6, so I'm like, what? So he goes for Energy Ball. Okay, Energy Ball, Earthquake, Dragon Claw. What kind of a moveset does this set have? Who knows? But anyways, I go for Elite Seed, and of course I can't use Leech Seed on grass type moves. He goes for Earthquake. It takes 10 points of damage. 10! And then of course the Sandstorm hits, so Stanwix is gone. But Stanwix, I gotta give a thumbs up for all the things you did. Paralyzing 3 people. That was awesome. So I bring in the guy of the hour, Henry Ruff. That's my good old Scrafty. That's my favorite Scrafty. It's a Scrafty that everybody likes. He switches in, brings in for Alligator. I go for Dragon Dance because I predicted the switch. And I was really happy at this Henry Ruff. Henry Ruff is one of my favorite guys. I don't know why. So anyways, I go for the high jump kick. Think it was going 1-hit KO, but it lived by that much. Really? Really? That much? Anyways, it goes for a Hydro Pump. Wait, Feraligatr is physical, isn't he? I don't know why that happened, but anyways, the Feraligatr is painted anyway. I wish I was the one to get so I can get that Moxie boost, but I guess not. So it brings in with Tyranitar. What? Really? On a flying type? That was bad timing because I went for the high jump kick and that 1-hit KO the Tyranitar, and now I finally get that good old Moxie boost that makes Henry Ruff, well, Henry Ruff. The only problem is I still have to deal with that doggone Sandstorm. So here comes Virizion. Virizion? That's an interesting. I used to think it was Verizon or Virizion. I guess Virizion might sound better, but anyways, I go for the Ice Punch, and it brings down to about that much. And then, unfortunately, here comes the Sacred Sword, and unfortunately, Henry Ruff is gone. So, the next person of the hour happens to be another one of my favorite Pokemon, good old Ludington, Raikou that is. And so, off the back, I decided, you know what, I wasn't going to take any chances with that Secret Sword or whatever grass type moves can use. I'm going to Hidden Power Ice, and it takes out the Virizion, and yay for Ludington. Well, again, with this Sandstorm. So he brings back in something Japanese, that Chandelure. Now, I noticed he has 2 guys which are Japanese, so I wouldn't know if it would be Chandelure or Sceptile. I should have looked at the kanji and figured it out. I went for the Thunder. It took it down like that much, and it goes for a Flamethrower. It took it down to about that much. Well, a little more than that much. I was thinking about using a Calm Mind instead of the Thunder at the start, but I saw that because of what happens with Sceptile. Because he brings in the Sceptile again. I go for a Hidden Power Ice. And as close as this went, I would have thought if I did a Calm Mind, I probably would have KO'd that Sceptile. But he goes for the Earthquake. Of course, the thing about me is I survive because I always like to carry a certain berry, a sugar berry that is, and I live with 3 HP. Folks, again, with these single-digit HPs. So that's 3, 8, 1, 7. I don't get that. Well, anyways, Ludington comes out, and I go for the Thunder. I realized it wasn't very effective because I have a part Dragon type, but I really didn't have much else to use on that, so I just went for that. It went for the Dragon Pulse and killed off all 3 HP. So in truth, even though he fainted, he got more damage than Raikou had from that time. So I bring in my 13 Mile, that's my Gorbice. The only move I really had to use against that guy would be Ice Beam. Psychic would have been able, but I needed that 5 extra power. And that would be very, very helpful. Trust me. After the first Ice Beam, it got Chiron got paralyzed. I went for another Ice Beam and the paralyzed again. So that's 2 for 2 so far for 13 mile. And it's down the red, one more ice beam, as they say, 13 mile, 3's a charm. Kyro's gone. That would be good game to X. I was pretty happy at 13 mile for finishing off that Chiron. Well, that was awesome. Skyfire saying rate, comment, subscribe. Have a nice day and see you next time.